Welcome to the channel. I'm the Scottish Astrologer, and in this video I'm going to have a little rant, a little vent about the BBC, which is the British Broadcasting Centre, and something which they've done that I feel highly disrespected by them for doing so, to me personally. And now what that thing was which they done was they actually sent me an email, like you can see on screen, basically offering me to come on BBC Radio Scotland to have an interview regarding astrology. So I accepted. I was obviously happy about this. Main reason being, if I'm honest, was the exposure. It was great exposure for me. Okay, I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination. I live in quite a rough part of the city of Edinburgh, and I have 3 children who rely upon me financially. Okay, family man. So if I'm honest, that's why I'm most angry about this. Basically, the exposure which I lost out on. And secondly, I finally would have got to give to a mainstream audience my take on astrology, okay, the legitimacy of astrology. I would have got to put my case over on mainstream radio, and nothing could have made me happier at that moment when I received the email. I truly thought this is a great opportunity for me. So again, accepted. Within an hour I get an email back, like you can see, still from BBC Scotland, but from a different person, basically then saying thanks but no thanks. Okay, so they offered me an interview and then literally sent me an email back saying that's okay, we didn't want you anymore, like you can see on the email. And as you can imagine, I'm enraged by this, proper pissed off. Okay, again, there's a missed opportunity in my mind. But even more than that, when I actually listened to the interview on the radio, okay, well, before that I knew that this interview was going to involve a skeptic, okay, and it was going to try and debunk astrology. And I was of course correct when I listened to it. There was of course a skeptic on and an astrologer, okay. And what really annoyed me about this was the fact that the skeptic rightfully was saying basically astrology isn't true based on horoscopes, you know, like star sign horoscopes. He's saying astrology can't be true based off of that. And I of course agree with that, okay. I don't do horoscopes. Horoscopes are not accurate in any sense at all. You need the whole birth chart in order to do true astrology. It's nothing to do with sun sign horoscopes. That was invented for the newspapers, and I've made a video about that. You can check that out and watch the exact origin of how star sign horoscopes were invented, okay. So basically this skeptic's using that, the fact that horoscopes, it can't be right because basically there'd only be 12 different personalities, okay, using that old one. And so the astrologer that they got on instead of me, right, basically agreed and says, yeah, that's true, which I would have agreed as well. And then the skeptic says to him, so obviously you don't do star sign horoscopes, do you? The astrologer says, no, I don't do star sign horoscopes. So then I check him out, check out his website. Honestly, I can't remember his name, but at the time checked out his website. This was about a month ago, and basically he does star sign horoscopes. So he's saying on the radio station, no, I don't do them, I know they're not true, okay. And then you go on his website and he does do them. So I'm like, it's just making astrologers look untruthful. It proper enraged me. So yeah, this may sound petty, okay, me ranting about this, getting offered an interview then refused an interview. Yeah, it might be petty, but again, to me, I'm personally highly offended by it, highly disrespected, if I'm honest. If they can do it to me, they can do it to other people, which is a horrible thing. Organisation like that sends you an email offering you an interview, you accept, and then they say, oh, thanks, but no thanks. And basically, then they don't even tell you, because I asked, why, what's the reason, basically. And just, they never replied. No reply at all. I'm guessing the reason is because it would be very hard for a skeptic to argue with me, because I actually, on my channel, as you know, teach certain aspects of astrology. I'll show you, look at this on your chart. If you have this certain planet and this certain sign, or making this certain aspect, etc., etc., then it will have this certain effect. So I basically show people how they can test it for themselves. Okay, there's nothing better than testing something for yourself that you're told is not true, and you think, oh, it may be true. Someone's saying it's true, someone's saying it's not true, and then someone's telling you, look, test it for yourself, this is what to do, have a look. If it's right, it's right, if it's wrong, it's wrong, but please test it for yourself, so you know for yourself. And that's what I do on my channel. And I have made a lot of prediction videos on astrology, which have all came true. I'm yet to have a false prediction. So thinking in those terms, possibly after they looked into it a bit more, looked into my channel a bit more, after offering me though, this is a weird thing, offering me, but two different people. So I'm saying the first person, Amy, this Amy girl, she had it spot on. Okay, an astrology interview in Scotland. The Scottish astrologer is the obvious choice. She had obviously watched my stuff, obviously knows that I've predicted stuff correctly using the science of astrology. So I'm imagining that's initially why I was picked off of this certain person. But the higher ups, they had a specific agenda with how they wanted this to turn out, involving the skeptic, etc., like I mentioned. So I'm imagining that's the reason. After looking into me a bit more, it's hard for a skeptic to argue with me when I'm actually teaching people how to do these certain astrological things for themselves on their own charts. So harder than just someone who doesn't do that and is just saying, oh, just basically saying astrology is correct, while the other guy's saying it's not correct. And more so, I'm so annoyed I didn't get the chance to debate with this guy, okay, basically, this skeptic, because he's saying basically, oh, we've tested birth charts even, and we know it's not true, and but this astrologer wasn't digging in deeper on that, like, well, what did you do on the birth chart? What astrological methods did you actually use involving birth charts? What were you actually testing? This skeptic is just saying, we've tested the birth charts and they're not true. And there was just no, but how? Explain that to me. What did you do? Whereas if that was me, I would have been asking exactly, how did you do it? What was the test that you were using? How did they fail? And more so, did you use more than one astrologer? Is this just based off of this one astrologer who you've picked in order to do these tests? Because again, astrology is a language. An astrologer is an interpretator of the language, and if the interpretator isn't very good, okay, then obviously your research isn't going to be good. It's not going to back up astrology if the interpretator of the language of astrology isn't interpreting it correctly, you know. So I had many questions that I'm so disappointed I wasn't in the position to answer, okay, as again, I was offered the interview, then it was taken away from me, okay. And it's so annoying, even when you tell your family, you tell your partner, you tell people, oh, I'm going to be on the radio, I just got an email offering me an interview on astrology, you know, so excited, and then you have to say, oh, actually, you know, they then sent me an email saying, no, it's okay, we don't want you anymore. And I've got these emails, you're seeing them on screen, I'm not lying here, this is true, this is factual, and I'm calling out the BBC for this, not calling them out, I'm exposing them for this, okay. This is what they do, this is no way to treat anybody, okay? No way to treat anybody, I'm sure everyone would agree. And I know most people listening are going to just probably be laughing, oh, look at him being petty, greeting over no getting an interview, but put yourself in my shoes, I'm sure you'd feel the same, especially if you're so passionate about astrology, especially if you're in my social situation. And this was a great opportunity for exposure, okay, to do well in life, okay, regarding the skill I have, okay, and what I actually want to do in life, fully astrology, okay, that's all I want to do. Obviously I have to work as well, I have to do a day job, okay, I don't just rely on astrology or making YouTube videos. I don't do well enough right now, so I have to work. My life's pretty hard, I have to work a lot, look after children, then I'm making YouTube videos, have to keep that going, giving people readings, you know, and again I felt like this could have been a big break for me and it was just taken away. I'm truly disappointed over this. More than disappointed, I'm angry, actually angry at the BBC, properly angry that these clowns can treat people like that, okay? Especially since, you know, in the United Kingdom, okay, we have to pay for what's called a TV license. We have to pay basically to watch TV. We need a license, which costs like over £100 per year for a yearly TV license, okay? And the only reason we have to have a TV license is because of the BBC, okay? The TV license money funds the BBC. So literally the money of the people of the UK fund this organisation, and they have the cheek to treat the people who fund it like this. Well, let me say, I don't agree with that, so I don't have a TV license. I'll never pay them money for a TV license, okay? So, you know, and quite rightly I feel justified, especially since what they've done to me personally. I feel justified. I don't believe anyone should need a license in order to watch television, okay, just to fund some horrible organisation like the BBC. It shouldn't happen. And I feel in my gut, okay, there's karma to be paid, okay, for this, for treating someone like this, for the BBC. Just mark my words, I give it about 5 years, and mark my words, no one in Scotland will pay a penny for a TV licence. That's, mark my words, okay? And that'll be karma. You deserve it. No one should pay anyway, but you deserve it. Proper deserve it. So yeah, anybody who actually did listen, did catch this on the radio about astrology, just know that the original intended astrologer who they first asked was actually me, okay? And then, like I've just exposed to you, like I've just shown to you on screen with the personal emails they sent me, they offered me it and then took it away from me the very next minute, basically. It was like an hour later, took it back away from me. So yeah, again, I'm infuriated, okay? And there's karma for the BBC. Karma's real and karma always has to be paid. Okay folks, thanks for watching. I'm sorry you had to basically listen to me just rant in anger on this video. But yeah, I feel a bit better ranting it out, okay? Even though it's not to someone, but it's good enough. Saying what I need to say, getting it off my chest, that's good enough for me. So again, thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell at the right hand side of the subscribe button. Until next time, take care folks.